Major developments tonight involving the case against Sean Diddy Combs, what he decided in court today, and what this now means, the move coming just 4 days before his trial is set to begin. Here's Aaron Katursky.
He believes he's innocent. I believe he's innocent. And we're going to fight this case with all of our might until we don't have to fight anymore.
We have the latest from federal court in the Sean Combs criminal case. Status of jury selection, what Diddy's going to be wearing, violation of a gag order, rejecting a plea offer.
He knows the deck is stacked against him. They've got a ton of evidence. Take the plea deal, dude. Just take it.
Well, my guess is that, because we don't know the deal of the plea deal. At least I don't think we do.
True.
Okay.
Mr. Combs feels A, he's innocent, which is why he's not going to plead guilty. B, he's going to be truthful about this case because he wants to portray that to the people who have loved him his whole life. And I think he also feels an obligation to people in general. Maybe it's black people, maybe it's white people, maybe it's anybody who's ever felt aggrieved and targeted by the government. He feels an obligation to those people to say, you know what, maybe I can break the model. Maybe I can show the world that a black man can win, in federal court. And I think he probably is the only person I know of who might be able to actually accomplish that.
The scene is tense. The atmosphere inside the federal court in New York is charged with tension, expectation, and fear. Sean Diddy Combs, one of the most influential names in global hip-hop, is not in front of the cameras to receive an award or to release a new album. He is there as a defendant at the beginning of the most important and most dangerous trial of his entire life. The billionaire businessman, hit producer, face of luxury campaigns and symbol of power in music and popular culture, now faces charges of trafficking and criminal association, and it is not a simple complaint. The case that began this week has the potential to erase decades of his career, destroy his legacy, and send him to prison for many years. The prosecution is not treating him like just another celebrity. They are presenting him as the leader of an organized network, where fame, money, and influence were used to commit crimes for more than 2 decades. In a 17-page charging document, prosecutors describe a structure straight out of a gangster movie: control, intimidation, abuse, manipulation, and silence. A silence that is now beginning to be broken. This trial has shaken the entertainment industry. Everyone, artists, executives, fans, and media, is paying attention to what happens inside that room, because what is at stake is not just Diddy's future. What is decided here is whether the powerful men in show business can continue to operate without consequences, or if they will finally be held accountable. Jury selection began on Monday. Dozens of citizens arrived at the court, where federal judge Arun Subramanian explained the charges to them. He reminded them that, so far, Combs is legally innocent because that's how the system works. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty. While all this was happening, Diddy was sitting in the back, dressed in a sweater, white shirt, and gray pants. He is no longer wearing a prison uniform, but remains detained in a federal jail in Brooklyn since his arrest in September of last year. The accusation he faces is harsh. It is 17 pages long, and according to legal experts, it reads as if it were a mafia case. It talks about a criminal organization led by Combs and maintained for more t's 20 years. Violence and threats were used to subdue women. Prosecutors say the victims were manipulated into engaging in acts in what they called freak-offs. These meetings, according to the accusation, were organized by Diddy and carried out with the help of his close circle: employees, security guards, and business partners. When the women refused, according to the government, Combs did not hesitate to resort to violence. In some cases, he would have beaten, kidnapped. In one of the most shocking stories, it is said that he hung someone from a balcony. But Combs' lawyers insist it's all a lie. They assure that any relationship was consensual, that they never forced anyone to do anything against their will, and that this is not a criminal network as the government claims. One of the topics most likely to come up in the trial is the 2016 video where Diddy appears hitting his ex-girlfriend, singer Cassie, in a hotel hallway in Los Angeles. That video was leaked recently and caused a stir, although it was already part of a complaint that Cassie filed in 2023, where she accused him of years of physical and emotional abuse. This trial is not Diddy's first legal scandal. In 1999, he was accused of assaulting a record executive with a champagne bottle. Later that same year, he was arrested after a shooting at a nightclub, from which he fled with his then-partner, Jennifer Lopez. He was acquitted, but another rapper in his group, Shine, was convicted and spent nearly 9 years in prison. In 2015, he was accused of hitting someone with a dumbbell at UCLA in an altercation involving the sports team where his son played. That case was dropped by prosecutors. But all this now returns to the center of the conversation. The trial is expected to last at least 8 weeks, although some legal analysts believe it could stretch even longer if new evidence or unexpected witnesses emerge. This first week is dedicated entirely to jury selection, a key process that could define the course of the case. The judge and lawyers are thoroughly reviewing each candidate, making sure they have no biases, connections to those involved, or an opinion that is too formed by everything that has been said in the media. But the real action begins next week, when opening statements begin. This is where each side, the prosecution and the defense, will show their version of the facts, and the battle to convince the jury will begin. Among the witnesses who could take the stand is Cassie, Combs' ex-girlfriend, who has already publicly reported having been a victim of years of physical and emotional abuse. His testimony would be key, not only because of what he experienced, but because it could serve as an example of a pattern of conduct that the prosecution is trying to demonstrate. Other women, some protected by anonymity, others willing to speak face-to-face, are also expected to share stories that prosecutors say would reveal an organized network of manipulation, intimidation, and exploitation with the direct participation of Combs and those close to her. Diddy, at 55 years old, faces the most critical moment of his life. He has been a dominant figure in the industry, hitmaker, businessman, cultural icon. He has collaborated with world-class artists, received awards, and amassed a fortune estimated in the hundreds of millions. But now, all of that is at stake. His legacy, his fortune, and his freedom are under threat. If convicted, he could spend several decades in prison. And this time, neither his fame nor his fortune will be able to stop the weight of justice if the jury decides he is guilty. The trial of Sean Diddy Combs is not just one of many celebrity controversies. What is at stake here is much higher. We are talking about an influential figure who, for years, was synonymous with success, wealth, and power, and who now faces the most serious accusations of his entire career. Are we witnessing the beginning of the end for one of the most powerful figures in hip-hop? Or will this be another case where money, expensive lawyers, and contacts manage to twist the truth and escape justice? The next few weeks are going to be key. Strong testimony will be heard, shocking evidence will be reviewed, and public pressure will only grow. The question is, will justice work the same for everyone? We want to know what you think. Do you think Diddy is guilty? Or is this all part of a campaign to destroy his image? Leave us your opinion in the comments. Your voice also counts. And if you want to follow every detail of this historic trial, understand what is happening behind the scenes, and stay informed with clear, complete, and unfiltered analysis, subscribe to the channel right now. Activate the bell so that YouTube notifies you when we upload a new video, and join us on this journey that, without a doubt, will mark a before and after in the history of entertainment. Thank you for being with us. See you in the next video.